and has already allocated $100 million to aid farmers. Green says they were not only offered drought support, but also help with farming irrigation.
Last year, we ordered 1,300 irrigation kits from Isratech in preparation for this year's drought. And Benjamin told me that they're ready to go. So I told him I'm coming to look at them, right? So we all sit together. So our 1,300 irrigation kits are ready, having been done by Isratech, and we will start distribution of those kits.
Minister Green emphasized that facilities for drought support efforts are being built in Manchester and St. Elizabeth. Added to that, he shares these storage units are to be powered by renewable energy.
We are building a brand new storage, spending $124 million, about 350 square meters, a cold storage facility right at Content. And the good news is that having learned the lessons, all our storage will be powered by renewable energy. So we're putting renewable energy in the storage in Content, we're putting renewable energy in Colville, and only have backup systems that we will utilize where necessary.
He reminds that the government is working with the National Housing Trust and other entities to build agri-parks and other facilities which are expected to greatly benefit the nation's farmers. Kevin Black, CVM News.
The long-awaited renovation of the Yallah's Market in St. Thomas is officially underway. The project, which aims to provide improved facilities for vendors and residents, is expected to be completed by October. Raymond Morrison has our follow-up.
After years of anticipation, the first signs of transformation have finally begun at the Yallah's Market in St. Thomas. The $20 million renovation is in motion with construction crews on site, laying the foundation for what is expected to be a more modern and functional space. Councillor for the Yallah's division, John Lee, says the improvements are long overdue and will benefit both vendors and customers alike.
I am actually standing on the ground of the Yallah's Market, the long-awaited project. Well, all I can say is that work has commenced. The evidence is here, and this is a promise that was well kept by the Honourable Minister Desmond McKenzie. And the vendors can rest assured that this project will complete in short order.
In May, Community Development Minister Desmond McKenzie announced that vendors currently using the space will not be required to pay market fees until next year, a move welcomed by many still recovering from years of uncertainty. The market remains partially occupied by vendors who continue to operate in one section, while work takes place on the opposite end. The authorities say the phased approach allows business to continue while renovations progress. The project is part of a broader push by the government to transform St. Thomas in a more modern, connected parish with infrastructure works, road upgrades, and public facility improvements all underway. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
President of the Jamaica Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, Linville Wright, is calling out what he describes as an apartheid system in Jamaica. Wright argues the primary exit profile, PEP, is less about real choice and more about maintaining inequality.
With the placement decision now out following the recent publication of PEP results, Linville Wright, president of the Jamaica Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, warns that the system needs to be improved. He says the Ministry of Education needs to remove the ambiguity around choice, as the 7 schools chosen by each student is not a choice but a ranking.
If you don't get 1 or 2 and you get 3 or 4 or 5, you could argue that the person got the choice. But I think it's a kind of disingenuous technicality that the ministry uses to have people feeling that they're getting their choices. You know that this is something that is not working out when you see a number of people going to different schools to get their children away from those schools. What happens in our education system really is that we have an apartheid education system. The truth is that we have the same teachers in many instances. We have similar resources, might not be adequate, but similar resources. But when PEP results come out, people are put in different groups. Highly proficient, developing, and beginning.
Wright insists that meaningful change requires honest analysis, adequate funding, and targeted training for teachers. He says the students at the developing and beginning level need intervention, but deems the current funding inadequate.
In our present system of funding, for example, we have $2,000 being given to, for example, students who need a social primary if it is that these interventions are needed. That is nowhere adequate. You imagine $2,000 per year for even one child to deal with intervention in terms of diagnostic work, in terms of giving teachers some kind of resources to help these children. Those are not enough, and that amount has been since 2017.
Wright calls the bogus system that keeps top-performing students at the top and low-performing students at the bottom without addressing the real issue.
But a thoughtful education ministry will use research to deal with this. Good research tells you that if a child has gaps in learning, you put them in institutions and you give them the resources and you give them the quality teaching that is going to help them. That's hardly happening in our education system. What happens is that we put them where there's a tradition of they're not doing well and we brand them. And so you hear about failing schools and you hear about high-performing schools. Those names are indicative of a country we talk about out of many one people. It's indicative of a country that is about stratifying.
Carla Ramdeen, CBM News.
37 Jamaicans who have excelled in areas of leadership and academics received the Governor General Achievement Awards, the GGAA.
The award, which was launched 34 years ago, awarded Jamaicans of various age groups who have made an impact on their community and national life. Among the awardees was Mark Smith, president of the Jamaica Teachers Association. Smith received the award for his dedication to education and community development. He founded the Big Brother Mentorship Program in St. Elizabeth and leads a community project with the Dairy Board. Smith has also received the Award for Excellence in Leadership in 2024. And Dr. Melissa Flinch, the founder of Free Your Mind Foundation, a youth-led movement promoting mental health through education and work. Her work at the Mandeville Regional Hospital has transformed civic spaces and public health.
And community leader whose life reflects resilience, excellence, and service. With academic honors from Northern Caribbean University and a Doctor of Medicine from UWI, she has combined her passion for healthcare with dynamic leadership and national representation.
Carla Ramdeen, CBM News.
We will continue in just a moment.
For years, he has been a staple in the dancehall scene, giving us hits after hits after hits. And I know, ladies, you know. We get into the mind, the meditation, and the humor of Dexter Daps.
Yo! I'm a weird music listener. It's like James Brown and them people.
Love.
So if you want to reach the higher scale, then you have to start present yourself like that. And I know, consistency go open door.
That's right.
So if me not do this over and over again, then them not gonna get to me I do. So now I'm like, don't cost me a lot, you know.
Hey.
Make your Monday a little brighter with Yendi and Dennis. First up, we learn how to turn our passion to profit in Money Masterclass. Then we dive into some seafood in Breakfast is Served. It's Seafood Monday. It's back to business as we answer your burning legal questions, from law to order. The little detective making a scene, Malika Miller, joins us. And we wrap your morning with some sweet poetic energy. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CBM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
We welcome you back with a look at regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. In Trinidad and Tobago, debate on the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority Repeal Bill of 2025 moved to the Upper House on Friday. More from TTT News.
The debate on the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority Repeal Bill 2025 began in the Senate on Friday. Minister of Labour, Small and Micro Enterprise Development, Leroy Batiste, during his contribution to the debate, noted that citizens of Trinidad and Tobago rejected the TTRA on April 28th, instead voting for a change in policy.
All the reports deal with basic, simple issues. And the issues caused deliberately in many instances by the political administration. Mr. President, they're talking about understaffing. They're talking about under-resourcing.
Over in Barbados, in the Bridgetown Fisheries Complex, a violent confrontation forced workers and patrons to flee for safety. The CBC's Crystal Hoyt has more.
An argument between two men working at the Bridgetown Fisheries Complex erupted into a bloody battle involving three of them. It sent other users of the facility scampering for safety. At the end of it, one man needed medical attention and was transported to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Another was in police custody, assisting with investigations into the matter. Well-known fish vendor Sharon Bellamy Thompson described the stabbing incident as unfortunate.
One of the guys, the one who has been chopped up, he's my very good friend. It's unfortunate that what happened this morning happened. I just saw people running and stuff like that.
In international news, thousands have marched on the Israeli capital of Tel Aviv, calling for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to take a bold and brave decision to strike a deal to return the remaining hostages held in Gaza. More from the BBC.
The Israeli military have issued this order telling people in significant parts of Gaza City, but also the north of Gaza, to evacuate. They've issued this in a statement in Arabic, warning citizens to leave those areas and move south. Now, normally these evacuation orders have come before significant offences in the region, so it's expected that the Israeli military are planning further airstrikes on the areas that they have told people to evacuate from. We will likely see many people trying to flee south, although of course not clear when exactly this action may take place, whether everyone would be able to move in time. Now, this comes as latest figures show that up until Saturday afternoon, in the 24 hours preceding that, at least 81 Palestinians were killed and more than 400 people injured, according to figures in Gaza in the latest round of airstrikes. Israel have said, though, that they killed a significant Hamas military figure, Hakam Mohammed Issa al-Issa, who they say was instrumental in planning the 7th of October attacks on Israel in 2023. This is one of the last remaining figures, senior leadership figures within Hamas, according to the Israeli military, after two previous leaders were already killed.
That's it for regional and international news. I'm Nika Lewis.
Still more to come in a moment.
Make your Monday a little brighter with Yendi and Dennis. First up, we learn how to turn our passion to profit in Money Masterclass. Then we dive into some seafood in Breakfast is Served. It's Seafood Monday. It's back to business as we answer your burning legal questions, from law to order. The little detective making a scene, Malaika Miller, joins us. And we wrap your morning with some sweet poetic energy. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
From politics to global events, from social issues to breaking news, Lead Story Prime dives deeper, cuts through the noise, and uncovers the stories that shape your world. Join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Lead Story Prime with me, George Davis, for an hour of incisive analysis, expert interviews, and unparalleled coverage of the issues you care about. Lead Story Prime, your front row seat to the most compelling discussions. Lead Story Prime, where the truth comes first. Only on CVM TV.
For years, he has been a staple in the dancehall scene, giving us hits after hits after hits. And I know, ladies, you know. We get into the mind, the meditation, and the humor of Dexter Daps.
Yo! I'm a weird music listener. It's like James Brown and them people.
Love.
So if you want to reach the higher scale, then you have to start present yourself like that. And I know no consistency go open door.
That's right.
So if me not do this over and over again, then them not gonna get to me I do.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, don't cost me a lot, you know.
Hey.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
I'm not here to take someone's place. I am Ganga, and I have my own identity. Radhika needs you now. Please sit with her and go assure her that no matter what happens, you will never leave her side.
Handling the accounts of this is my responsibility. I will find out why this money is unaccounted for.
You have one night to make sure that you carry out your duties properly, Shiv, because from tomorrow, you will no longer have a role to play here.
No one is allowed to touch Parvati's things no matter what. No one at all. Least of all you.
Ganga.
Brought to you by
Hyundai or Hyundai.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi, brought to you by Grace and Singer.
Welcome back. Just how essential is it to stick to the recommendations in the process of prioritizing mental health? Well, the experts will tell you it's very important. Now, although Inspire Jamaica joined the world in observing men's mental health for June, the lessons are not gender specific.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
His was a tug-of-war which even saw him making a deal with his creator.
I smoked, right?
I didn't remember that I took some pills. Yeah. And I started drinking rum and bum. For that time that I drank the rum and bum, my heart started to race, right? Of course, it was washing me like a river running down my face. And I felt like I was going to pass out, and I said, God, if you make me pass through this, I would serve you, right? I'll give my life to you. I blacked out. Then I wake up back, right? And I said, okay, I'm going to stop. A little bit, I didn't know that I was going to go back to the same stuff again. It's there and then I made a confession to my mom and said, Mom, I really wanted to stop this stuff. I told my mom that I needed to go somewhere where I can't get any of it. She heard about Teen Challenge, so I came to Teen Challenge. A little bit did I know that it's a drug and rehabilitation center facilitating life controlling problems one person at a time, right? And I started to slaughter chickens. But the thing about it, I had to go out with them and look for the fire stick. So I got tired of it and saying, I'm not going to do this. I packed my stuff and I left. The director told me I was doing the wrong thing. I should turn back.
It took some time and even an encounter with deception, but he eventually returned.
Went through the program, did the full year as a student, graduated the program, went to internship, got a year, then they decided to send me to Grenada to minister to some of the guys over there. I went over there, did all that, I came back here. Now I'm managing the beehive, greenhouse, I'm doing a little bit of plumbing. I could slaughter too, but I chose not to. And it really helped me throughout my years. I'm free from alcohol, free from marijuana. You know, I still take my meds.
Introducing a relationship with Jesus Christ. That's what we do at Adult and Teen Challenge Jamaica. A relationship, the Word of God, is the catalyst for change. And yes, we know mental illness does have to be treated, but we also come to see and come to understand that when you have a foundation, family structure, faith structure, when you have that as a firm foundation, you couple that with the medication and the transformation becomes increased, it becomes exorbitant.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
Ronaldo Adams is standing by with sports.
Make your Monday a little brighter with Yendi and Dennis. First up, we learn how to turn our passion to profit in Money Masterclass. Then we dive into some seafood in Breakfast is Served. It's Seafood Monday. It's back to business as we answer your burning legal questions. From law to order. The little detective making a scene, Malika Miller, joins us. And we wrap your morning with some sweet poetic energy. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
For years, he has been a staple in the dancehall scene, giving us hits after hits after hits. And I know, ladies, you know. We get into the mind, the meditation, and the humor of Dexter Daps.
Yo! I'm a weird music listener. It's like James Brown and them people.
Love.
So if you want to reach the higher scale, then you have to start present yourself like that. And I know consistency go open door.
That's right.
So if me not do this over and over again, then them not gonna get to me I do.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, don't cost me a lot, you know.
Hey.
Let's delve deep into the issues. we'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.